All right, welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I am your host, Cardinellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everybody.
And, you know, usually they say fake it till you make it. One of the things I loved about Nelly was he was talking about how he was a big baller before he was a big baller, and it was self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So we all believe that you got to talk the talk, maybe even a little bit before you can walk the walk, okay? However, I never thought I would see this in my life. Or question, is Pete Buttigieg doing the opposite and faking small donations is the new thing, not rolling into the club with Benjamins, but with Washingtons? Who's on the $1 bill? It's Washington, right?
I hope so, yeah.
Okay, so the new rappers throw around Washingtons, and the new politicians throw around 10-cent donations. I cannot make heads or tails of this. Cody, please tell us what's going on.
Okay, so that is a weird story, so I got a couple things pulled up here. Anyway, so a lot of fluff's been going on around Pete Buttigieg, the wine cave, the donors, all this stuff, right? So The Hill runs a headline today. Buttigieg's campaign introduces contest for lowest donation. Which sounds weird. First thing I thought, well, doesn't whoever donate 1 cent wins? But they have more rules. So they go through and they mention that in an email to supporters on Tuesday evening, Buttigieg's campaign wrote that the donor who contributes the lowest amount in the hours ahead, provided that no other donor matches the contribution amount, that's the rule, will win a prize from the campaign. All you have to do to win is donate the smallest amount that nobody else donates, reads the email. Multiple donations are allowed. Just be creative. Pick a unique donation amount and you can win. Oh, maybe like 9 cents, right? Or maybe
So everybody
$1
would go to 1 cent.
But get this. Maybe it's minimum $1, but he mentioned that. Check this out, though. Tim Tagaris on Twitter points this out, and he says, Pete for America Innovation Team out there working hard on Christmas Eve, coming up with gimmicks to lower his average donation amount this quarter. Continues with, this is so transparently hilarious. Wow, his average donation was lower this quarter. It's a Christmas miracle. And they mentioned the fundraising contest comes just days after Buttigieg faced heat from his fellow Democrats on stage at Thursday's debate over a fundraiser in a wine cave. So there's the larger context. But yeah, so again, here's the actual, I'll pull this up for you guys, the actual thing they sent to people. So it's right here. It says, all you have to do to win is donate the smallest amount that nobody else donates. In other words, suppose you donate $1. If someone else playing also donates $1, you both lose. But if only one player donates $1.01 or so on, you are a winner. That's its only rules. And again, they mentioned, remember, multiple donations are allowed. Multiple donations are allowed.
Oh, so why don't you give us $1, $1.01, $1.02, $1.03, and hopefully get 50 donations in there that only total up to 60, which, who knows, might bring down your average donation because you already almost maxed out at $2,500. You know what I'm saying? Brings your average donation down to what? Like $15.
Yeah, like I always
you do
joke,
that 10 times, and all of a sudden people are only average donating like $8.
Well, the other thing, the larger thing for me as we go through this, it calls into question, and I've kind of come to the point I don't really pay attention to this number anymore because, and I'll show you guys, it's so easy to fake. This story had me very much laughing. Now, I do not have this 100% confirmed, but I believe one of the head campaign, I believe this was at the time, one of the head campaign spokesmen for Cuomo here, was also working for the Buttigieg campaign in a similar capacity. The reason why I bring that up, only reason why I bring that up is because this is a headline going back to July 17th, 2018. Cuomo donor made 69 tiny donations to campaign, which doesn't sound that weird. Let's keep going through it. So a donor with ties to Governor Andrew Cuomo's campaign gave small dollar contributions to the two-term incumbent almost 6 dozen times as the longtime poll faces continued criticism for his reliance on big dollar donors. Queens resident Christopher Kim donated $1 or $5 to Cuomo's campaign 69 times over 3 days as the filing deadline approached. All told, he gave just $77. But Kim isn't just an overeager small dollar donor. Records show he shares a Long Island apartment with Cuomo's campaign creative director, Julia Yang. The Cuomo campaign was not immediately available to comment. The filings show that Kim made the donations on July 10th, 12th, and 16th, which is the day the campaign finance reports were filed with the State Board of Elections. This is where it gets hilarious. Listen to this. The Cuomo campaign's press release touting its fundraising figures said that 57% of the donations it received, so roughly 1,100, were for less than $250. Kim's donations accounted for 6% of the total.
Dude!
Like, one guy donating $75 over a couple days is able to adjust number 6%. So
that's how little how few actual small dollar donations he's getting.
But this is
one guy can. That's almost a tithe, brother.
No, this is a Cuomo's brother running for governor, so less people are
still
less money raised.
Wow.
No, but the bigger thing to me was the fact that one guy on a small campaign can have an outsized impact. But what happens when you're Pete Buttigieg and you reach out to all your donors and ask for essentially the same thing? So it got me looking a little bit more into small donors, and this is something else I found that's really, really, really interesting. Sorry, I want to make sure I have the right. The wrong one pulled up. Here we go. So this is from OpenSecrets.org, pretty reputable organization, talk a lot about dark money and politics. Listen to this. So they say, we don't have the data on true small donors, so once you give $200 or less to a candidate in a cycle, since these contributions do not need to be disclosed. But we can examine most of the numerous 3-digit contributions in our data. So $201 is not exactly a widow's mite, gotta admit. Unfamiliar with that one. But it is within reach of most households.
No, the widow's mite?
Yeah, I'm just unfamiliar. But anyway, moving forward. So $201 is within the reach of most households' philanthropic budgets. I can't say words. So according to an 2007 study from the Center for Philanthropy, Indiana University, households in the bottom 90% of the income distribution gave $30 billion in non-religious charities and causes in 2005, or about $300 per family, right?
Okay.
Average.
That's fair.
So listen to this. Most contributions over $200 don't come from households that give exactly that amount. They might give $250, say, to a single candidate or committee, but they don't usually stop there. In fact, the average household that made a $250 contribution to one committee also gave $2,102 to other committees. Now we're getting well out of the range of the median American's pocketbook. Even some true mega donors, including 5 of the 16 cycle's top 100 contributors, found at least one campaign or committee that merited only a $250 contribution. Another way to put it, small donations don't necessarily come from small donors. And that kind of was fascinating to me because I don't have it pulled up in front of me, but for example, a high-profile individual, I think Alyssa Milano has famously donated to multiple campaigns. I think what the point they're getting at here is a lot of these wealthy people that donate a lot of money, they donate a lot of money. The money, they spread the love. You know what I mean? So, yes, maybe they maxed out for one campaign, but maybe they only gave $100 to another campaign. That gets rolled in. So the more I've looked into this, the more it kind of feels like these numbers are kind of phony. And not phony, but you can manufacture.
They're padded. They're not phony because it actually is a donation that was voluntary.
But here's the next thing I want to show. There's the inverse of it. There's a Wall Street Journal article. It's very interesting. So they interview a lot of these people who do this. They call them super donors, people who donate over 50 times to one candidate, right? Looking through this, a lot of these people, here we go. This is an individual right here. I believe they're speaking to a Ibrahim Jadoun, 28-year-old professional education rights advocate in Richmond, Kentucky. So, Mr. Jadoun has contributed to Mr. Sanders more than 200 times. However, adding up to $825 according to the FEC, which I've seen people give that to Yang and some in an afternoon, right? So over 200 donations. He said he signed up to receive text messages from the campaign, uses the app, and has saved his credit card information with ActBlue, giving him the ability to donate with a single click. It would be really hard to find $2,800 in any one day, or even $500. But giving here and there, so follows the Bernie vibe. It's almost like, what can I do at the time? And they mentioned that Donald Trump has a similar kind of super fans. And this is something I want to hit on more than most, is I wonder how much of this is, like, I wonder if it's going to look like every candidate has more small donors and receives more small donations, because the way we've kind of changed how you donate to politicians, it's all done online now. Like this guy said, the reason why he's donated 200 times because he can't give $500 every time, but he gets an alert in his phone. Hey, Bernie needs your help. Okay, I'll give $2. All I have to do is click send. Yeah. And I think the bigger thing we're seeing here is how it's kind of how people who run well,
those 2 election cycles that where ActBlue functioned, and there was no Republican alternative. Republicans got pounced because of small donations.
Republicans pounced. But marketing-wise, it's kind of similar to, I look at it almost in the sense of when you're looking at like a Netflix subscription. Yeah, maybe they'll finish watching Narcos, that big season release you had in like a week or two. But are they going to remember to cancel their subscription? And are they going to remember again? And over the course of the year, are they going to think? I think what we're seeing is that mindset infiltrating politics. And one campaign
that's what I did
seems to have maximized. I'm going to show you guys a data point in a second. One campaign has completely monopolized the idea of realizing, why ask for $100? I'll just ask for $1 or $2 every few days, and they will give it to me.
When I was on the 38th District's Central Committee, that was actually priority numero uno. I fought tooth and nail to get it, but we finally got a donor button that was subscription based. And you could literally just donate $5 a month. Yeah, $2 a month. Like, I mean, anybody can afford that. All right. And it was wildly successful. And then, of course, there was political infighting and whatnot. And then they got rid of it because they're boneheads and they're Republicans. But now the party's completely broke. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's actually because the new way of affording things, especially in a gig economy, is just, you call it mafia pricing, but I just call it entry-level pricing, where people can actually afford something. Maybe somebody can't afford $5,000 for Adobe's Creative Suite, but they'll give $20 a month if they plan on using it.
But here's the thing. Like I said, it's not the fact that they have subscription models. Technically, that's how credit cards work. It's the fact that it's the model. No. It is. You will pay us forever and be happy about it.
We're not giving you ownership, but you're getting a chance to access us who own it.
On YouTube, they'll do ads for movies, and they'll say, hey, you can own this movie on YouTube. No, I can't. I don't own any movie on YouTube. I'm renting it digitally. But anyway, I want to show something here because I believe this is publicintegrity.org put together a thing, and they went on every 2020 candidate's website, and they looked at their donation buttons and how they were set up with minimum suggested donation and maximum suggested donation and any notes. This is a lot of outdated names on here. I want to show you a couple things that are interesting. So, this is how the candidates framed their donations thing. So again, Eric Swalwell, when he was running, minimum 5, maximum 1,000, he's out. Tim Ryan, I'm not going to get too far into it. Marianne Williamson, only $1 minimum, up to a max of 28 was how she had on her website. Gillibrand, Tulsi, this one I want to highlight on is Bernie Sanders, $3 minimum, $1,000 maximum, provides $27 as an option on his Act Blue page. So I believe $27 is his average donation. Yeah. He's really proud of having a low number. Keep that in mind. We'll keep going through. I like Amy Klobuchar.
Amy Klobuchar is a big
one of the highest lows, highest minimums. That is hilarious. Also, look, we aren't taking money from any corporate PAC. They have a little note here on the right.
Wow.
This is what I want to show you guys. This is what I thought was hilarious. So, going through that article I was showing you before from, I believe, the Washington Post or Wall Street Journal, I apologize. They have a graph on here that really, really surprised me. And it really kind of shows which candidate is I believe. I was trying to figure out all day what these data points mean. I think what it means is this campaign figured out how to ask people for small donations, not even in like a cynical way of artificially lowering the donator. I think they just realized.
No, they just tapped in.
It's effective. This is a list.
Yeah, if we're the proletariat candidate, we got to fundraise like we're partying the projects.
So check out this data, guys. The graph I'm about to show you guys. It's a list of the amount of donors who've donated more than 50 times to an individual candidate, and you'll notice. Bernie Sanders and his campaign has figured out how to extract small amounts of money repeatedly, and I think that's
everybody
why he's
else
so
is
much.
Buried except for Donald Trump.
Can I point out one more thing? Hold on.
Yeah.
While I got you, I want you to look at this card.
Hit me.
What massive coincidence is it that both Kamala Harris and Beto O'Rourke had exactly 108 people? Exactly 108 people donated more than 50 times, and then Pete's right there.
Please tell me that was a bundler. Please tell me that was a bundler.
I'm just going to say, makes one wonder, how does that happen, right? But you'll notice Donald Trump's the next closest, who, by the way, Donald Trump is fundraising about as much as all those other names combined. He's just raising a lot of money.
Yeah.
He's nowhere near. Not even the Trump campaign, who's been really good at raising money, has found a way to tap in. And as that one guy, the previous donor mentioned in the article I'll show up, he probably would have never donated $800 in one day.
Yeah.
But over 200 separate donations in like a 6-month window, it'll add up. And I was trying to think, are they being cynical? Or are they just trying to artificially lower the number? I think really Bernie's fundraising people just realize, dude, ask someone for $1 or $2 every day, and all of a sudden they won't even realize they gave you $300.
Yeah.
But hit them up for $150 in one email, they'll go, I got $150.
Yeah.
Hit them up for $1.50, they'll go, what the heck, I got that. And then over the course, and again, I don't know.
And then it becomes, then you get the dopamine shock. You know, you're like, ooh, I just gave to the guy who's fighting the big corporations.
Or how about this?
I'm part of a movement. Yes. I want to do that again. That felt good.
People mentioned in this article a lot of times for Trump as well. Donald Trump saw a big boom of this, for example, when there was when Trump supporters perceive he's under assault by the media or whatever, he'll get a big bump in donations. Same thing goes here. I believe someone mentions here in this article. I can see if I can find it. One of the big Bernie Sanders supporters said that, he'll just donate when something happens. Like he said, when, what's his name? Joe Biden jumped in the race, he donated money. Like when Bernie had his heart issues, he donated money. Like the idea being a lot of people use individual small donations as kind of a way of, like I said, getting that kind of little dopamine, doing their part. So I think what we're looking at is don't get so hung up on the actual, like the numbers of small donors, because a lot of this is just a tactic for extracting more money from people. It's got nothing to do with, because here's the thing, is like I said, people who've donated more than 50 times,
Smart tactic.
Ridiculous a lot of times to donate. It also means you're donating at small increments every time. So like I said, man, it's the smart way to get money out of people. It's the reason why Netflix doesn't say give us $150 for the year up front. There's a reason why all these subscription services, by the way, could easily offer you that. Some offer because they're smart and they know that people will buy in. And it's a win-win. It's like you can spend $98 for Amazon Prime or $140 on a subscription service. Just choose the one you want. But it's just the way to go. You ask for smaller amounts of money multiple times, and it seems to be the way that all of online advertising is moving towards. And I think we're just seeing it dominate campaigns. And I think Bernie realized, holy cow, why am I asking them for $35? Give me two. And then give me two again. And give me two again. So that's my take on it. I don't know what you think about it, Cardin, but I was trying to, all day when I saw this thing and I read through the article this morning, I was like, how is Bernie Sanders that's skyrocketing above everyone else? And I think that's what I've came to is I think they've just realized it's an effective way to get donations. Ask for little bits all the time.
I'll tell you this right now. I don't doubt that Bernie Sanders, 1,034 people that are mega donors, are by and large authentic multiple small donation donors. I don't believe it for a second coming from Cuomo. I don't believe it for a second coming from Pete Buttigieg.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like when Pete Buttigieg says, "Oh, I want Medicare for all," I don't believe him for a second. You know what I'm saying? When all these other jokers get up there and say, "Oh, I want Medicare for all, and Medicare for those who want, and Medicare for Kamala for the people, Medicare for," and they give their little version of something they never, ever would have talked about 5 years ago if it hadn't become the talking point. I don't believe any of them. Well, finally, progressives have pushed the Overton window so far that big donors have become a bad word, so much so that the new cool is small donors. And the ultimate testament to whether you're authentically cool or a faker is whether or not you're now willing to fake small donations. You know what I'm saying? Just completely willing to fake small donations. And it seems like there's some candidates that are. And it doesn't surprise me which candidates those are. So anyway.
The Pete Buttigieg one cracks me up. That is,
yeah.
Oh, hey, by the way, just no reason, but we're just encouraging you to send a lot of small amounts of money multiple times to us right before the filing deadline. Hey,
and we're going to make a game out of it. Yeah. It's a game.
You want a prize. What prize? We don't say. Just a prize.
Like, I got to tell you, I would lose so much respect for a candidate if they tried to pull that wool over my eyes. I would much prefer if they just said, "Hey guys, we're getting hammered on small donations. Can you toss me a buck?" You know, like I would just prefer somebody spoke frankly. You know, now granted, I'm sure that would become front page news, so you can't. But anyway, let us know what you guys think. Do you think Pete Buttigieg is trying to pad his numbers and trying to fake small donations, or do you think it was just an authentic game that we're playing on Christmas Eve when the family's around playing, when they're done playing Uno? They want to see how many small donations.
It's a classic. Donate to Pete.
Every donate to Pete. It's a Midwestern Christmas miracle.
Yeah, tradition.
So, yeah, tradition. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys can, make sure you also follow us on Twitter. That's where we make a lot of our announcements. And hang out with us on the live stream. This is Problem Solver Politics. We'll see you in the next video.